stage is dark. Slowly the lights come up to reveal a dangerous-looking man.
This man is a recovering alcoholic. He has spent time behind bars, a fact that makes many in the audience slightly uneasy. Our rabbi steps forward to bless the audience.
On this night of Passover, may we be blessed with the courage to leave the comforts of slavery, the strength to rid ourselves of a puffed up part of our egos, and the grace to accept our proper places. May the Holy One open our eyes to the beauty of living free, and our hearts to the need to be part of a community that cares for the powerless, the voiceless, the poor and the material, as well as the spiritual, the one who is orphaned from their family, and the one who is orphaned from their soul. May the Holy One bless us with a community that cares for the stranger in each of us, and the stranger among us.
This rabbi? He ain't no rabbi.
Come on, Faye.
Things are seldom what they seem to be. This rabbi is a recovering addict. He has spent time behind bars.
A musician is a musician.
Because things are often exactly as they seem.
A group of addicts take their places on the stage.
This stage is not a stage. These actors, they're not actors. The fact that makes all the actors uneasy.
I guess.
However, one was successfully able to convince his family that neighborhood children stole the widescreen television.
And another was able to convince her boss that the smell of crack cocaine in the company bathroom was such a no.
Another successfully convinced his family that he had to make frequent trips to the bathroom because he had a stomach condition.
And another played the role of loving wife and mother till she could no more.
So in many ways, the actors are actors. The writers were not writers.
But they all have a story to tell.
Because things are seldom what they seem to be.
Quiet! The stage and the people on it are in chaos.
And Seder means order.
The Seder begins. Kodor Vador, Chayavim Anu, Yerotem Atzreinu, Kilu, Kilu. Kodor Vador, Chayavim Anu, Yerotem Atzreinu,
Down this picture of the struggle will end. Wrestling angels and demons, in between them lies us, plus the motivation to rise up here for freedom. The condition of the human being, tragedy and strife, it all plays out in the end. What shall be, but it all depends on us.
From generation to generation, it is the responsibility of every Jew to see himself as if he personally had made the exodus from slavery in Egypt.
In our meetings, each member has but one responsibility, to keep coming back. The rest we take one day at a time.
This one special night each year, we gather together with loved ones to show our gratitude for the freedoms we enjoy.
We join together this night to remind each other to just hold on, because if we can make it through this night, we can gratefully look forward to one more day.
Just before sundown. Uncle Saul!
I can smell the brisket. Let's keep it short this year, Morris. Joe, every year you look more handsome. If only your grandmother lived to see you tonight.
And of course, Aunt Rose.
Oy, she saw you in that rag. She dropped dead all over again.
We accept all, from beggars and politicians to liars and thieves.
Who could tell the difference anyway?
our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us by his commandments and commanded us concerning the removal of chametz. Our Torah tells us that we were to eat no leaven during the Exodus, so we have searched the corners of our homes to remove any leaven. And now, we must search our innermost selves and remove that which compels us to remain enslaved to Pharaoh in Egypt.
For as long as I can remember, I felt like I didn't fit in. In school, on the streets, at family gatherings, I couldn't shake this unbearable feeling that I didn't belong. So I created my own escape. Just me and the drugs. One big happy family.
Sure, the Seder is long, but it's a chance for us all to get together, to break bread, and to know each other better. No matter how hard the world may become, this one night a year, we can each rest assured there's a place we are always welcome.
One step at a time, I need to make amends to the people who no longer want me in their lives because of the things that I have done, because they feel that I chose drugs and alcohol instead of them. Now I must choose life over certain death, being present over escape. But it's hard. Sometimes it's unbearable. Old habits die hard.
Before the sun rises, I think about dope.
I open my eyes and I long for a toke.
Have breakfast down there, but it seems like a joke.
My mind is on that white cloud of smoke. Gotta run, gotta move, gotta hide my sins, gotta find a place where I can fit in. Who knows where I might give it, so I gotta stop thinking about high. Gotta think about how to leave the past behind. Gotta heal my soul, gotta stop my mind. 24/7, 365, gotta stop thinking about high. I go to my job and I wanna get high.
I need it so badly, I break down and cry.
It's all that I know, and I still don't know why.
It's hard to stay sober when you wanna get high. Gotta run, gotta move, gotta hide my sins, gotta find a place where I can fit in. Who knows where I might give in, so I gotta stop thinking about high. Gotta think about how to leave the past behind. Gotta heal my soul, gotta stop my mind. 24/7, 365. And I gotta stop thinking about high.
And I gotta start thinking about high.
And I gotta start thinking out loud.
The angel of death visited every home, turned away from its gruesome purpose only by a smear of lamb's blood on the lintel in the doorway. To this very day, the angel of death visits every home, looking to see what is on the lintel.
But we have already been redeemed, we cry, puffing ourselves up with mythical entitlement. But only this blood, this faith, can repel this dreaded apparition.
Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover cannot and will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves, they are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping, developing a manner of living which demands
Rigorous honesty.
Seder means order. Each Pesach we follow this order of observances, from generation to generation. It is something you can count on to always be the same.
Yeah, like Uncle Sol will always sneak off to check the score of the Laker game.
And each observance has a name, which you recite.
Chill, guys. Come on, guys. It's the Lakers.
And Aunt Rose will always take a large plate of food to go.
Schnorr basket. And we'll all pretend to like something that tastes disgusting.
Gefilte fish.
I like gefilte fish.
Kiddush. Please join me in the first cup of wine.
Red And wine was my first choice of high. I could drink without explaining why. And get smashed more often.
In those days, a big bottle of wine was always there. It was a social event. Everybody was laughing. Until they weren't. It was 2 a.m. and I heard retching. I pretended I was asleep. I could hear my mother crying. I could hear my father's footsteps staggering towards the bedroom. I don't want it to be Passover again.
This grape juice is ridiculous. What am I, a child? This is a holiday for wine.
Not a holiday for police and vomit. Rose, look, Esther, I love him. But the Nile is not just a river in Egypt. Drink your grape juice, Morris.
Or chutz.
I'm always reminded of that first bath when Joey was born. Those tiny hands and delicate feet, no tears. He just lay there looking up at me, so peaceful and so trusting.
I remember when my parents washed their hands of me. That's when I turned to the streets. Learned how to fight, steal, manipulate. Then came the drugs. And every principle they tried to teach me didn't even matter anymore. It's like I didn't trust them. They didn't trust me. I felt like an imposter in my own home. I felt like I was losing myself before I even had a chance to find myself.
Hey, Dad, I was wondering, this year, instead of pouring a cup of wine for Elijah, can we pour a cup for Shira?
I don't want that name spoken in this house.
But she's my sister.
And she's still a Jew.
Yeah, well, she doesn't act like one. She's a shun, an embarrassment to this family.
Morris, she caused us all grief, but still she's our blood. Don't you remember?
Remember? I remember visits to the police station. I remember putting locks on every door of this house so she wouldn't steal everything we owned to buy her drugs. We're prisoners in our own home, but she's a free woman.
You're not perfect either. You drink, you get out of control.
Joey, show some respect for your father. Besides, you can't compare a few drinks to what your sister did.
And what about you? What about the fire and the insurance money? Did you get to come to dinner?
How dare you?
Morris, he's a child.
I won't have this kind of talk at my Seder.
At least check the score of the game.
Every heart has a doorway. We run to slam it shut in the face of the angel of death, but we dare not lock it, lest we miss the revival of the Redeemer.
Virgil, do you have something you want to share?
Yeah, I'm Virgil. I'm an addict. I know that we're all addicts here. Is there some reason why so many of you seem incapable of picking up your coffee cups?
12 minutes, that's all it took. Hey,
That's not a joke. Not your mommy, I mean.
You sure nag like her.
yeah, Virgil, that's cool with the coffee cups and all, but don't you think it's time you shared something real with us?
What are you talking about?
You know what we're talking about. You, your wife. When are you gonna own up to that?
You gotta deal with it.
Not using is not enough.
She's your wife, man. You can't treat her like that.
That's none of your business.
Okay. All things in their own time. But in the meantime,
Throw away your coffee cups.
Hell with all of you.
We close our ears to the voices we dare not hear, praying all the while that we do not miss the call. Each room is interrupted by an unexpected visitor.
I'm Shira, disowned, banished, eldest child.
The drug addict. The thief.
The shicker.
Good to see you too, Aunt Rose.
You got what's showing your face. The drugs must have erased your memory.
And Rose.
It's true. And I'm Norma. I'm Virgil's wife.
Norma, what are you doing here?
You said you were coming home. You said you just needed to get yourself together. It's been a year.
Yeah, but you coming here to spy on me does not make that any easier.
Spy on you? I came because I heard it was your, 1 year.
it's his birthday. 1 whole year of sobriety. He gets his cake tonight.
Norma, you should not be here. Places for people in recovery?
He has a point.
Well, my shrink says you're either in recovery or in denial.
She has a better point.
You have no right to be here.
I just wanted to be home for Pesach.
This is no longer your home.
Whoever is hungry, let him come and eat. Morris, whoever is needy, let her come and celebrate Passover. Now we are here. Next year, may we be in the land of Israel. Now we are slaves. Next year, may we be free.
Each Pesach, we ask questions.
The simple son, one who does not know how to ask. What does he say?
I have a question. How am I supposed to live my life without the love and comfort of my family? For 25 years, I faked the role of PTA mom, weaving in and out of my addictions in an attempt to just feel normal. I thought I was so tough. I was just so afraid. I ended up in the hospital, delusional and manic. My children watched their mother unravel. In the end, I lost my family, I lost my business, lost myself.
I have a question. Why wasn't I good enough to make you stay? You said you loved me. My best friend. My hero. But then you left. Even when you were here, you were someplace else. What was so wrong with me that you went away?
You used to be dependable. I could count on you for anything. I gave you everything I had and got nothing. Where's the man I married?
I'm 2 weeks sober. Will I ever find the part of myself that I lost?
The part of myself that I lost.
Why is this night different from all other nights?
May the Lord protect and defend you. May God always shield you from shame. Will we ever be a family again? May you come to be in Israel shining.
Many questions. How could I trash my father's memory?
Did I do the right thing?
What is slavery? Who will save me?
How could my father send my sister to the street?
When do we eat?
Why can't I have just one glass of wine?
Can I live a life that's free? Why can't I just smoke crack once a week? When do we eat? When do we eat?
Magi, the story.
Moses was in Egypt land. Let my people go. 'Cause so hard he could not stand. Let my people go.
We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, but Adonai, our God, King of the universe, took us out from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Had not the Holy One, blessed is He, taken our fathers out from Egypt, then we, our children, and our children's children would have remained enslaved to Pharaoh in Egypt.
Yeah, I'm Joel, I'm an addict.
Hi, Joel.
I grew up in a nice Jewish family in the suburbs. On the outside, everything was picture perfect, but on the inside, I was slowly dying. By 16, I was a full-blown IV drug addict. My identity became anything I could put into a needle. Now, nearly a decade later, I'm putting the drugs down, and I come to hear the hope that I hear in these rooms.
Even if we were all men of wisdom, understanding, experience, and knowledge of the Torah, it would still be an obligation upon us to tell about the Exodus. The more one tells about the Exodus, the more one is praiseworthy.
God saw our affliction, that is the disruption of family life, and God took note.
Hi, I'm Shayna, and I'm an addict.
Hi, Shayna.
Now, I came from a nice family in Philadelphia, but that didn't matter. I still snorted, shot, smoked, drank, everything I could get my hands on. Swimming in the river of Denali, you know, I didn't even think I had a problem. That wasn't until I wound up in 5 hospitals and a mental institution in less than 30 days. Broken and suicidal, you know, I would have done anything for just one more high. I would have sold my soul. Instead, I sold my body.
Adonai brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, with great awe and the signs and the wonders. Adonai brought us out of Egypt. Now we're an angel, now we're a seraph, now we're a messenger. But the Holy One, blessed is He in His glory, Himself.
The identified patient has no patience for the lies that enslave him. They paint him the black sheep. He was in problems on the scene, no sleep from last week. The blood in his veins, the pain from being a slave agent. But you recites when his life in that meeting. That rock bottom feeling, got him feeling like God don't need him, and he ain't got no leader. No one's just the ocean, no way back. He's trying to end his own past. Ashamed to kill, he fasts, he hasn't eaten in days. He craves the pain to make real his change. Addiction, affliction, templates, a spiritual mission. These miracles are hidden in front of our own eyes. We got our own ties to the past. These moments blow by because we're afraid to ask the question. Now you afraid to. You ask the question.
What are you afraid to? I lost my friends. I lost my hope. I reached a place I could not go. I threw away all that I was given. I do not eat. I do not sleep. And I'm afraid of people I meet. I feel ashamed, don't know my name.
I'm left alone, hungry and angry.
I'm discovering who I am, giving way to the love that I have. My life is changing in every way. My heart, my mind will be okay.
These are the 10 plagues.
Blood, dogs, vermin, drugs, booze, pills, wild beast, pestilence, boils, lying, cheating, stealing, hair, locust, darkness, loss of family, loss of self, darkness.
Sacrifice of the firstborn.
But now through the love of my higher power, and the support of others that have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, I finally found hope. And for that, I'm so grateful.
The omnipresent has bestowed so many favors upon us.
And He brought us out of Egypt, but not executed judgments against the Egyptians.
Daenu!
And I only stopped the drinking, but not regained my self-esteem.
And I only regained my self-esteem, but not found the love of my community.
Daenu!
Had he only executed judgments against their gods and not slain the firstborn?
Slain of the firstborn. It sounds a bit barbaric, doesn't it?
How dare you open your mouth?
If I only found the love of my community, but not regained my family.
Had you only lied about smoking pot, but to sell it to other kids?
Had you only been arrested, but not in a televised high-speed chase.
Daenu!
Had you only stolen money from my wallet, but not your grandmother's brooch?
Had you only showed up to Shiva stinking drunk.
Daenu.
Had you only wasted your life on a never-ending binge, but not dragged your baby brother into it?
No, Iman, it wasn't like
Daenu!
Why must you cause us so much pain? Just go home.
He's right, Shira. Just go home.
How long must I roam to find my way home? I'm really happy for you, Virgil, that you're not using. I just need to know where I fit into all of this.
Not everything is about you, Norma.
About me? I'm not the one who...
There you go again. That's more like it. That's the stuff that drove me away in the first place. Making me wrong like you always do.
I never said I was perfect.
No, but you insisted that I be. Now get off my back.
The stage is silent. The tension is so real that every man and woman can taste it. As with a single voice, each person wonders,
how did it all get so wrong?
And yet they also wonder,
Don't you have we all forgotten?
To all who felt the tender bliss, the streams of praise, the naturalness, some might not know the secret here. Kiss the kiss, the kiss. For scent brings down the heavens here. Your lips so soft as velvet air. The words she says, remember this. The kiss, the kiss, the kiss.
We named her Shira. It means song, because she was always her father's favorite melody.
He was the most handsome man I'd ever met, and I was the only one who could make him smile.
All it took was one kiss. I knew I had to make her my wife.
From tangled webs, a mystery that nature wraps. The best things are the simple gifts. The best things are the simple gifts. The best things are the kiss.
Norma, I'm sorry. I cannot do this.
We can talk.
No, just leave me alone.
Stay and talk to her, Virgil.
Butt out, Shayna!
Talk to your wife.
Get out of my way.
What? You gonna hit me like you hit her? You think we didn't know? I'm not scared of you. I've been dealing with assholes like you my whole life. Where's your program, man? You think you can claim recovery and run from the mess you made?
Whatever.
You're one of us, you jerk. Look, and I have less sober time than you. Don't you think that any one of us would have wanted to like run and scream and hide and act like we hate the world? We need you.
The Torah tells us that no soul can be left behind. This is not an idea. It is the law.
it applies to every individual, no matter how lost, and to every family, even yours.
And to every family, even yours.
From generation to generation, we are living day to day. It is our responsibility. Just keep holding on. As if we ourselves had been delivered from Egypt.
In every generation,
generation, it is the duty to regard himself as if he personally had come out from Egypt.
What's the harm in a glass of wine after work? Or two?
Sometimes he hits me, but I probably deserve it.
I'm cutting down to a pack a day.
You shall tell your son on this night that it is because of this that Adonai did for me when we went out of Egypt.
So I pop an extra one every now and then. They're prescribed.
It was not only our fathers that the Holy One redeemed from slavery, we too were redeemed with them.
So I wrote a few bad checks. The banks are insured.
It's not just dirty pictures. I read the articles.
He brought us out from there so that he might take us to the land that he had promised to our forefathers.
We celebrate 365 days of continuous sobriety. Virgil?
Haven't you torn our hearts out enough already? Will you please just go?
Wait, Boris. This is the part where we tell the story of the Exodus from Egypt. Shira, you've come all this way. Tell the story.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
No. Please. You know, I know that most of you don't like me, but you still manage to care. And nobody ever stood up to me like Shana did. That's probably for my own good, too. And so, I wanted to celebrate my one-year birthday by writing a letter that I wrote to the lost child inside my heart.
Instead of reading from the Haggadah, I would like to say something from my heart to my family. And then I'll leave your house.
Dear lost child,
Love me or not, whether you believe me or not, I still love all of you. I know I've hurt each of you beyond repair.
I know where you are, lost child. I've been there before.
When you walk down the street and no one acknowledges your presence.
I felt the pain. I've endured the abuse. And I know the emptiness that you cannot fill, no matter how hard you try.
Believe me, I know how hard each of you tried to understand and forgive my weakness.
My treachery, my deceit.
I've been lost. I've held your head in my hands. And I've cried your tears.
Everything where you are is dead, and you are stuck being alive.
Those familiar places that you've been so many times are now cold and lifeless. You've forgotten where home is.
But I want to come home. I'm here to make amends to all of you.
And I want you to know what's inside my heart and inside my soul.
I just want to come home.
Follow the sound of my voice.
Home is not where it once was. Home will never be the same again.
But you have to choose to listen to your heart. Listen to your soul.
I know that things won't ever be the way they were.
But I have complete faith there can be a new beginning.
Home is in your heart.
It's not a place or a person.
And it's certainly not a drug.
Most of my life I hid myself, my true self, from all of you.
It's like I was never really real.
Like I was never there at all.
I need you to know who I really am. Home is doing the next right thing.
Home is a sigh of relief.
In a full night's sleep.
I've been clean since the day I left this home. I'm 2 years sober, 2 years old, a baby, a child who needs your love, and a child who now and always will love you.
Come home, lost child. It's safe. It's warm. You can smile even when you're alone. As long as you're home.
The stage is dark. Slowly the lights come up as a dangerous-looking man addresses the audience.
This man is a recovering alcoholic. He has spent time behind bars, but he still has a story to tell. But even as he speaks, he wonders if his story will ever truly be heard.
Because things are seldom what they seem to be.
Norma, I'm so sorry. I gave you the worst of me. There wasn't enough alcohol in the world to heal my pain. Now, with the help of my friends, I'm getting better day by day. Can you ever forgive me?
Dad, I stole your trust, I gave away my dignity, and I almost lost my soul. But I found the little girl you raised. I found my place as God's servant, and I'm finally living my authentic life. Please take me back.
Promises, promises are things that we know. The life that we're living, the actions we show. The love and forgiving, for taking it slow. Our promises, promises. Out of the prisons, out of the jails. Your soul is a tempest, your spirit prevails. The struggle you went through when you thought you had failed. Our promises, promises.
Oh, Virgil, of course I forgive you. I didn't know the pain and abuse you suffered. I never understood how enslaved you were. I want more than anything to work through this with you, and I want you home again.
My little Shira, I've acted more like Pharaoh than like Moses. I enslaved you to be who I wanted you to be, not who you really are. I despised that part of you that is most like myself. I am so sorry. Please forgive me.
Promises, promises are things that we know. The lives that we're living, the actions we show. The love and forgiving, for taking it slow. Our promises, promises. Brought from the land Egypt, we left everything. For something unknown, this our faith will bring. The challenging part is to pray on one thing. Our promises, 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 promises are things that we know. The lives that we're living, the actions we show. The love and forgiving, for taking it slow. Our promises, promises. Thank you, oh God. We are so grateful that we are in our proper places, in the lives you have created us for. Finally, this year, we are together. And we are free. Promises, promises are things that we know. The life that we're living, the actions we show. The love and forgiving, for taking it slow. Our promises, 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 promises are things that we know. The life that we're living, the actions we show. The love and forgiving, for taking it slow. Our promises, promises.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's probably the 10th or 11th time. Passover has never been the same. I hope you realize that. So, folks, questions, comments. Let's open it up and speak to these terrific young people. Some not so.
Some not so.
So who's got a question or comment they'd like to share? Who's got a question for any member of the staff? Please.
They should all be proud of themselves.
Thank you.
So I'll ask you a question. What was it like the first time you did this play?
My name is David, and I'm an alcoholic and a grateful member of Beit Shuvah. I'd say the first time I did this play, well, it's going back a little while, it was really moving. You know, kind of like Shira. I was the abandoned eldest child, and not only, but abandoned eldest child, and I remember I saw it before I played it, and it just had this impact on me. You know, and I was moved, but when you're up there performing it and having to be vulnerable, it just takes a whole different light. And I think that it really helped me through my own recovery by being able to put out there and say, you know what, we all have our flaws. You know, and we're all human. I think I'm perfect, but I'm finally learning I'm not. And it was good to be able to relieve that and let people know that I'm authentic. I'm not this perfect child that I thought I was.
Questions?
Comments,
please.
There we go.
Hi, I just want to say thanks for sharing your experience and your strength and your hope. My name is Jessica, and I'm trying to be in recovery. It's not going so well. But I was just wondering, how do I get involved with the program? Are there meetings? Is there...
I'm Martin. I'm a very grateful member of the Beit Shuvah community. And I have the privilege, as many of us here do, of having gone through the program and now being a staff member, which is, I think, pretty unique for drug and alcohol rehabs. Call us, 310-204-5200. We have a website, www.beiteshuvah.org, that explains our program, that explains the admission process. If you call, Martin, you can ask for me, and I can connect you with our admissions director.
What's that number again?
310-204-5200. And my name is Martin.
Please.
Also too, I think part of the most important part of recovery that I've experienced is community and is networking. And so if after the show you want to talk to some of the women, I think we'd be glad to talk to you about what it's like to get in recovery and what it's like to continue in recovery. So thank you for being so honest.
Yeah.
Who else? Who on the performance would like to share with us?
Anybody?
Anybody? Who wants to share?
Joe.
I'm Joe, and I am a grateful member of the Beit Shuvah community and a recovering alcoholic, and I rap on the side sometimes, and I have a Jewish fro. I actually just wanted to share the experience I had when I first saw Freedom Song. I was 16 years old, 15 years old, one of those little ages, and my mom came up to me and told me that there was a show coming into town. She told me, well, I'll do her voice, Joseph, there's a show about Passover coming in. Okay, Mom, that's fine. No, it's about addiction, too. Okay, Mom, but there's a rapper. So I became that rapper. I came to the show. I don't remember much, but I made a connection with here.
Where'd you see that show?
Roslyn, New York. Long Island. I just want to share how easy it was to make that connection. My mom went up to the rabbi who was traveling with the show afterwards and spoke to him and was real with him and got his number and stayed in contact and kept in contact and kept engaged with Beit Shuvah. And one day when it was time for her little boy to go to rehab, every Jewish parent's dream, they had a place for me to go, and I had a place to be me, to bring the two parts of being a young Jew and, kind of unruly youth together. And this beautiful show saved my life. So thank you for coming here and experiencing it again with me, because every time I get something out of it.
Thank you. I don't have a very loud voice. I'm JP, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to actually see the show. It's absolutely fantastic. And this is coming from a parent of someone who went through Beit Shuvah. I say that I am a grateful member also on the parent side.
That's right.
And it's just, it weaves so many things in, and I mean, I can relate to so much of it from the parent side, going through the whole addiction experience, and I mean, if anyone wants to talk to me about that afterwards, you're welcome to do that, but thank you so much for putting this together, for performing it. I don't even know how long it's been in existence, but it just really touched me. Even after all the experience of going to Shabbos on Friday night and hearing the stories, and it still has touched me, and it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm curious to know a little bit more about Bet Shuvah and what your program is like. And you mentioned that there's a 12-step component, but what else makes this program unique compared to some of the other programs?
Ron,
Makes Bet Shuvah unique.
whoever wants to take the question, please.
You want to?
Yeah, all right, David. How about David?
Okay. Well, we have what we call an integrated approach to treatment. Our treatment program involves the 12 steps of AA, psychotherapy, and we are a Jewish faith-based program, which is not to say that all faiths are welcome at Beit Shuvah, but the Judaic part of our program is very important. We have Torah study 5 days a week. As the woman mentioned, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. We have services every Friday night. We have services on Saturday morning. We do celebrate the high holidays. So the Jewish part of our program is very important, but yet is only one of 3 parts of our integrated program. But beyond that, several cast members have mentioned community. I think what makes Beit Shuvah truly unique is that we are a community. Our congregation is an active, ongoing congregation. We have members of our congregation who come who have never had anyone at Beit Shuvah or who have no family members in recovery. But we have a sisterhood like any congregation. But beyond that, we have so many other kinds of activities. We have a very active creative arts department, of which Freedom Song is a part of. We have a music department that is led by Laura Bagish, who I should introduce. We have a choir that is part of our music department and theater arts department. We have a thrift store that helps to generate funding for our program because we turn no one away for lack of an ability to pay.
Creative matters. Creative matters.
I'm getting to that one. We have a satellite enterprise called Creative Arts, which is Creative Matters, which is a social media. Well, you should talk about creative arts. Well, in any event, the point is we have a search therapy program. We have an organic gardening program.
A prevention program.
We have what we call our prevention department, a youth services department, where we go out into the community and speak to students in middle schools and high schools. So there is a lot going on at Beit Shuvah. a whole lot more than just the drug and alcohol rehab portion of our program.
And I can tell you from personal experiences that the graduates of BTS make terrific employees. Terrific employees. I've got them.
Not me. You're talking about me.
Any other comments or thoughts from the audience? Yes.
Is the schedule for the next shows online?
It's not.
It's not.
I'm Jessica. I'm the coordinator of this wonderful musical. It is not. Yet. We generally post them as they come. Shortly, a few weeks before the show, they'll be up on a little pop-up ad. That is on the front page of our website. However, that is definitely a good idea to post them on the website.
if I may.
But I have my business cards with me. You can call. Anybody can call. If you want to have a performance at your shul or your school, I am your girl to speak to. I'd be more than happy to talk to you in LA or out of LA. If you know anybody, come see me. But there are going to be a lot of shows that are already scheduled in the spring. So if anybody is interested, you can approach me after the show and I can give you the dates, the ones I know off the top of my head, or you can call me sometime this week.
I would also be remiss if I didn't introduce our director, Justin Bryan. And also, I want to give a nod out to our technical crew who puts all the lighting and things together. Paul Moore. Jeff Cusick, Aaron Friedman, am I leaving anybody out? I think that's it. And we thank you. We could not do this without all of you as well.
So it's just after 8 o'clock, but if there's any last comments from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
What is the typical day like?
What is a typical day?
Yeah, I have talked to him. Martin says he's talking enough, so I'm going to take it from him. My name is Brian. I'm a grateful resident of the community. The typical day at Beit Teshuvah, the staff will come around and bang on your door and wake you up at 7. No. Yeah, at 7 o'clock. We have Torah study every day at 8 o'clock. Torah study Monday through Fridays, and it usually runs to 8:45. After that, we have what's called home groups. Everybody who has a counselor, everybody at Beit Teshuvah is assigned a treatment team. An addiction counselor, a therapist, and a spiritual counselor. And depending on who your addiction counselor is, you go to a home group. So it's not just one-on-one time, but it's specifically with groups ranging from about 7 to 10. And that goes from about 9 to 10. At 10 o'clock, every day it's house hour, where everybody gets a job in the house. We have house monitors, so the residents are the designated, they assign jobs. And we spend the next 10 o'clock to 11 just tidying up the place. You gotta make your bed. Things like that. We keep the house clean. And 11 o'clock we have another group. Groups ranging from, again, acutherapy to big book studies, depending on the schedule. At 12 o'clock we have lunch. At 1 o'clock we have another group. And then at 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock we have what's called Be Matter Time. These groups are consisting of field trips to the park, hiking through the mountains, gardening, theater. This is Trisha Nike, and she runs our theater department. And she has a fabulous group at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock is really designated times where you can go, you can do what you want to do. Hence, you matter. At 5 o'clock, 5:30, coming around usually is dinner. And then at 7 o'clock, there's always, we go out to meetings every night of the week. There's always a meeting to go to, whether it's CA, whether it's AA. We have in-house meetings though as well, so if you can't catch the bus of ANS to the meetings, we have in-house meetings. Sure. Wednesday nights we have what's called, say that again. If you take meds, 9:30 is med call. We call it club med. But every Wednesday we have what's called CGA, Criminals and Gangsters Anonymous, and every Thursday we have an in-house meeting all the time. And that's a very special week because we have our own speakers in the community and they speak. And Friday is Shabbat. Friday is the same scheduling, but at 2 o'clock we get the shul set up. We again clean the house, make your beds, brush your teeth, everything you gotta do. And at 5:30, 6:30, we have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat every week. Saturday and Sunday are really kind of free days. We have services every day, every Saturday at 11:30. Again, really the weekend is just you matter time. But it's very, very scheduled.
Really matter.
You know, we fit all the things, you know, when you're not on schedule, is that, you know, 30 days will go by, 35 days, 40 days, and you'll find your own schedule. You'll make your own time. And this is a very special place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing I'd like to throw in is there's a great way to give back, which is why I still participate with Beit Teshuvah. I was there for 19 months. I've been out of there for a year now. My life is great thanks to Beit Teshuvah. They started a marathon team about 6 years ago. And I joined the marathon team, and that taught me training every week. And then after 6 months, finally running the marathon and getting that medal was the first sense of accomplishment, the biggest accomplishment I've ever done in my life. And I've done it for the past 3 years, and I'm going for it again. And I'm doing it to raise money for other people who get the same treatment that I did. I didn't pay to go there when I went there. They gave me a job. Through that job, I was paying them back a little bit. But they never asked, you know, they cost like $10,000 to house a person there each month. So Beit Teshuvah, like Martin said, doesn't turn anybody down for lack of funds. This is one way we raise money. Our team has gotten much bigger every year and year. And yeah, if anybody would like to help donate to the marathon, talk to me after.
Or join me or run it.
Or join the marathon. Yeah, you can also run with us. We got an amazing team. We got 3 coaches, a nutritionist, chiropractor. We're sponsored by Elevation Fitness. So they make sure that if you have any injuries, they walk you through them. This is an amazing goal. If you've never thought you could run a marathon, talk to me, Dr. Jessica, and I'll get you in contact with the right people. Join our team.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Richard. JP is my wife. As a parent of a child who went through Beit Shul, I should tell you that Beit Shul is not just for the residents, it's also for the parents. It's for the grandparents, it's for the loved ones of those who have a problem. We attended Friday night services regularly, we still do, and we feel a strong sense of the community. While our daughter was there, she attended the services with us. But there's also a parent, not a parent association, but it's a
Family program.
Family program, that's it, thank you very much. And there's also an Al-Anon program that takes place at Beit Teshuvah as well. So, to give your support, it's not just financially or to send your loved one there. You yourself need to go there because it's been a world of difference for my wife and I to be a community part of that community.